Many extinctions happen for one or two reasons, or both, climate and humans. But what if woolly mammoths hadn't gone extinct? What if they had lived on to the modern age? Today, Life's Biggest Questions asks, what if woolly mammoths didn't go extinct? Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions. I'm Charlotte Dobre. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let us know in those comments a question you have always wanted to know the answer to. Woolly mammoths are an extinct species of mammoth that lived during the Ice Age, otherwise known as the Pleistocene epoch. Their closest living relatives are the Asian elephant. They were around the same size as African elephants, reaching heights of up to 11 feet and weighing up to 6 metric tons. Woolly mammoths were extremely similar to elephants, but they had adapted to living in the extremely cold climates of the Ice Age. They had small ears and short tails to limit the amount of extremities exposed to the cold. And of course, woolly mammoths were covered in thick fur that could be either dark or light, and they had long, curved tusks. Mammoth fossils have been found almost everywhere on Earth except Australia and South America. It is commonly believed that woolly mammoths died out at the end of the last Ice Age, which was about 10,000 years ago. But really, experts believe the last woolly mammoths died out around 3,600 years ago. A small population of woolly mammoths were able to survive on Wrangel Island, off the coast of Siberia, until about 1650 BCE. 1650 BCE was not that long ago. There were already complex human civilizations on Earth. Egyptian pharaohs had already been ruling for 1,500 years, and the pyramids were already 1,000 years old. So what if woolly mammoths never went extinct? Well, one thing's for certain, they would have only been able to survive in colder areas of the planet, like Siberia. At the end of the Ice Age, mammoths, saber-toothed cats, ground sloths, and Native American horses began to go extinct. It's a common belief in the scientific community that all these animals began to die off because the Earth began to warm up. These animals were adapted for living in colder climates. It's not just about being covered in thick fur that made living in warmer climates difficult for them. The food that these animals ate probably died off as the world began to warm up. For these reasons, these species could not keep up evolutionarily with the warming globe. There is another reason why the woolly mammoth could have gone extinct, and that's humans. When the world got warmer, humans began to advance north to new areas. They came across mammoths and likely hunted them. If woolly mammoths had not gone extinct, it's likely that animal conservationists would have tried to keep them alive in wildlife reserves in colder areas of the world. But that doesn't mean they would be safe from humans. Mammoths would be rare and exotic, and before the days of animal conservation, mammoth products would have been highly sought after. For example, Chinese folk medicine, as well as spirituality, relies heavily on ivory. Mammoths would have been hunted solely for that purpose, or for their fur and meat. Mammoth fur coats would have been owned by the elite. We would likely see paintings of kings and queens wearing mammoth fur coats had they not gone extinct when they had, and royal courts would have enjoyed feasts of mammoth meat. We don't know much about the woolly mammoths or their temperament, but if it was similar to elephants, the possibility of domestication would have been on the table. In the early days of human civilization, they might have been trained and used for heavy work. Humans might have also found a way to use them for transportation. We might have seen cave paintings and other forms of documentation of this. If woolly mammoths didn't go extinct, there really wouldn't be that many of them. They would only exist in small herds in remote areas of the world, like the Arctic and northern Siberia, or in captivity. Naturally, some woolly mammoths would have been kept in zoos, so spectators could witness the ancient creatures. They would be studied and poked at by scientists. It's also a possibility that there might have been attempts to clone them to keep their species alive. Well, there are some ideas of how history would be different if woolly mammoths had not gone extinct. Do you have any others? Tell us in the comments below. For now, I'm Charlotte Dobre, and you've been watching Life's Biggest Questions. If you would like to keep watching, check out our playlist Biggest What Ifs, clickable on the screen right now. As always, make sure notifications are turned on by clicking the bell, and we'll see you in the next video.